The latest round of Arts Council funding has been announced, and it means 20% extra cash for projects in Cumbria.
There's £385 million for the north of England, with a focus on cultural and creative activities for children. Well, Wordsworth Grasmere has been given a share of over £1 million a year, as Fiona Marley Paterson has been finding out.
The Wordsworth Trust here in Grasmere has teamed up with two of the other big arts organisations in Cumbria, Tully House in Carlisle and Lakeland Arts, to form the Cumbria Museum Consortium. They've been awarded over £1 million every year for the next 3 years. And Michael McGregor, I'm sure working in the arts, you're no stranger to funding applications. What does this money enable you to do?
This is fantastic news for Cumbria, Fiona, and it enables us to work with communities throughout the county and beyond on projects, well, like this one, Refuge from the Ravens, which is a project working with homeless people in the northwest, responding to Wordsworth's great poetry volume, Lyrical Ballads. And we wanted those poems to be as valued and respected as Wordsworth's own, so we've created this special leather-bound volume of the new Lyrical Ballads, which actually sits next to the original 1798 edition of Wordsworth's poems in our collection.
And the Arts Council's proudly saying it's shifting focus away from London, £385 million for projects here in the north, particularly focusing on those that maybe haven't had funding in the past. Does it feel like it's changing?
Well, looking at the figures, we're getting a 20% uplift in Cumbria from the Arts Council, which is really positive news, especially for the priority places of Copeland and Barrow, where there's going to be a lot more creative activity happening. So in that sense, yes, it does feel like it's a levelling up.
And Catherine, there's a real focus with this funding this year on projects with children and young people, up 20% in the north, and that's what you're doing here?
Yes, so tomorrow I will be out and about in a school near Cockermouth, and we are looking at the theme of autumn in William and Dorothy Wordsworth's writing, and that will end with all the reception children turning themselves into acorns. But more generally what it does is it means that we can carry on the work we do here, both on site in this room in Indulph Cottage, but also out in our towns and our villages and our communities, just kind of sharing Wordsworth really.
And Michael, there were a huge number of applications, so a lot of people haven't been successful with funding, and your organisation has got Arts Council funding in the past, so I suppose what's your advice to maybe some of those smaller organisations that have missed out?
Well, we had this disappointment in 2015, Fiona, when we lost Arts Council funding for our poetry programme, and it was a case of having to regroup to look at other funding opportunities that we could find, and I'm pleased to say now that the poetry is part of our programme once again, and in some respects you've just got to be persistent and keep going and believe.
Michael and Catherine, thank you very much. So now these organisations have to deliver on their promises to deliver value for money on behalf of the public.